MCNC. Connecting North Carolina's future today. Thank you for joining us today for a Chairman Conversation. Here's your host, Joe Fredoso.
Hi, I'm Joe Fredoso, President and CEO of MCNC, and welcome to a Chairman Conversation. As most of you know, MCNC is a nonprofit organization that operates the North Carolina Research and Education Network, or NCREN. NCREN is a high-speed fiber optic backbone network that connects the 17 institutions of the University of North Carolina system, all 58 community colleges, 25 out of 36 independent colleges and universities in North Carolina, and all 115 local school districts and 2,400 schools to a common backbone network so that they can communicate with each other and through the internet to the world. Also, through the North Carolina Telehealth Network, NCREN connects 23 nonprofit hospitals and 58 public health agencies to this common backbone in NCREN. In addition, MCNC over the last 2 years has received $104 million in federal Broadband Technology Opportunities Program grants and raised $40 million in private funds, including $8 million from the MCNC Endowment, to undertake the largest investment in broadband infrastructure in North Carolina's history. We are 3/4 of the way through a 2,600-mile contiguous fiber optic network that covers or touches 89 of North Carolina's 100 counties. We are excited about this project, and our rate of completion leads the nation. I'm here today with two of our strong volunteer leaders from the MCNC Board of Directors. And today, we're announcing a transition in the chairman's role of the North Carolina Research and Education Network and MCNC. To my left is Mike Murphy, our current board chair. And to my right is Tom Rabon, who will be taking over as chair on July 1st. And I'm going to talk to each one of Mike and Tom and gather thoughts. First, a little bit about Mike Murphy. Mike has been a board member of MCNC for the last 10 years, the last 6 as chair. Mike retired from a very successful investment banking career in the late 90s and has since taught physics and astronomy at the Ravenscroft School, following a bit of his passion for education. Mike's financial acumen, business leadership, and wonderful intellect and communication skills have been key to MCNC's successes over the last decade. Mike, we're very sorry to see you go as chairman, but thank you so much for your contributions to MCNC.
Well, it's been a great pleasure, and I know I'm leaving it in good hands with Tom taking over as chair later in the month.
So Mike, talk to me a little bit about what the role of chairman's been like for you, and maybe some of the highlights and accomplishments that stick out in your mind.
Well, it's been really, really satisfying. You know, I have a real passion for education. In addition to the teaching and my association with the North Carolina Museum of Natural Science, education is pretty much all I do, and so this fits in very well with the rest of my life. Being able to be involved with an organization that provides educational content, network connectivity, and as well as adding on to that infrastructure is very, very satisfying for me.
When you think back on the 10 years, what are some of the things that stick out in your mind?
Well, I think there are really 2 major accomplishments that we've done here. First of all, we obviously have grown tremendously, not only in terms of miles of network, but also on users. When I first got here, we were largely a business that served the needs of the university communities. And now, in addition to the university communities, we have the community colleges, the public schools, the telehealth network. All of these things have added tremendously to the amount of business that we're doing and the focus. When I first got here, I think it was, we were wandering a tad, but now we are very focused on the future and providing all of these services. The second thing I would say is it's been great being associated with all the with the board and with the staff here at MCNC. These are truly impressive individuals, top educators, business people, and technical professionals who are tops in their field. It's been a real treat for me to be involved with that, and so it's been one of the great moments in my professional career.
If you could look through a crystal ball and 10 years down the road, what would you like to see MCNC involved in and doing at that point in time?
Well, first thing I'd say is I'm excited about the future of MCNC. We've got great leadership here. Obviously, you've been a great factor in the resurrection of MCNC. Tom is going to do a great job, and so just from a leadership perspective, I'm very excited. As we look into the future, though, there's a lot going on. I mean, you've got to consider that just in the next 4 years or so, the amount of devices connected to the internet is going to double. And the bandwidth that they're going to be sucking down the tubes is almost 4 times what it was. And so that's a lot of bandwidth. And then from the educational perspective, we're going to see more and more reliance on video-based distance education. And so that takes up a lot of bandwidth. And so this is going to be a big linchpin in the economic growth of the state. We're going to be able to educate our children. We're going to be able to attract high-paying jobs to this state. And we're going to be able to bring the promise of telehealth to every region of the state. I mean, you said 89 counties. I mean, that's almost everybody in the state is going to get touched by this. And this is absolutely critical that we maintain this investment going forward. If we don't, the economy will go the wrong way and of this state, and we certainly need that. And so in order to be successful here, we've got to maintain a firm financial foothold and have got to continue to investigate and implement new technologies and services. And the strategic planning process we have in place will allow us to do that, and the staff that we have in place will allow us to implement it.
Mike, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
It's now my pleasure to talk with Tom Rabon. Tom's a familiar face to many folks in North Carolina. Over 25 years of business, he's done international work in China, Brazil, and India. He's worked for companies like AT&T and Lucent and Red Hat, and now his new venture in Newkind. Tom served 3 terms in the legislature, and again, well known and a respected professional in the field. And Tom, we're very fortunate at MCNC that you are going to take the chairman's role.
Well, thank you very much, Joe. I'm really looking forward to the challenges and the opportunities, and most importantly, to carry on the good work of my predecessor, Mike Murphy, and your leadership as well.
Tom, when you look at the immediate term for MCNC, what are some of your priorities moving forward?
Well, a big priority, of course, would be to continue the fine leadership that you provided, that Chairman Mike Murphy has provided to the organization over the past few years. But I think over and above that, one of the areas that I'd like to concentrate on are the community anchor institutions. These are organizations such as public health or hospitals or police departments or public safety agencies, emergency management, public libraries, and many others. But in addition to that, to try and figure out a way to roll the private sector into these community anchor organizations such that MCNC, through our network, can provide some services to them much as we do public institutions. Another area that I'd like to concentrate on is increasing the use of interactive video over the network, as well as working with the private sector to try and encourage them to create more applications for use on the network.
When you think about the impact on specific communities in North Carolina, what do you think that looks like over the next near-term and long-term period?
I think MCNC is in the absolute right position to have a huge impact on communities all over North Carolina, both urban and rural. You know, all of North Carolina is not like this Research Triangle area that we're all fortunate to live in. A lot of the rural areas are yet to enjoy the fruits of technology. So I think the real opportunity for impact that MCNC has is to provide rural areas with the same kinds of opportunities that we have in urban areas to be able to connect not only to our neighbor next door, but to our neighbors across the world. It reminds me of my friend Tim O'Reilly, a noted technologist out in California, who coins a term called the architecture of participation. And when he talks about that, what he's talking about is that in the future, that true innovation may not necessarily occur in those parts of the world that have the best universities or the best laboratories, but it will occur in those areas where they have created the best architecture of participation, such that you can create opportunities for students and citizens and businesses in rural parts of North Carolina to allow them to connect to this broadband infrastructure provided by MCNC that allows them to take advantage of not only the ideas of their neighbors or the people in their business or their school, but the ideas and the knowledge of people all over the world. That's the way MCNC can have an impact in North Carolina.
So Tom, final question, and it's the same as Mike's. When you look 10 years out, what do you want the organization to look like? What do you want it to be known as in 10 years?
I want MCNC to be known as an organization or a company that played a key role in the economic development of North Carolina as it relates to the creation of our knowledge economy. It's just wrong, Joe. It's just wrong that people in rural North Carolina cannot have the same opportunity to participate in this knowledge economy as those of us who live in the Triangle who are very fortunate. And that's where MCNC comes in. And so when I look down the road 10 years from now and I think about where can we really have an impact, I'll know we've done a good job if we make sure that this broadband infrastructure that we are building and have built around North Carolina, that this broadband infrastructure would give that student, that citizen, or that business in rural North Carolina the same opportunity to reach out and take advantage of the fruits of technology that we would have here in the Research Triangle area.
Tom, thank you for taking on this aggressive volunteer role. We appreciate your willingness to do this, and I know we're going to benefit greatly from your leadership.
Thank you for the opportunity, Joe.
And Mike, thank you for a decade of leadership and great growth of MCNC in both importance and of reach.
It's been my pleasure.
For more information, visit www.mcnc.org or follow us on Twitter at MCNC. Thank you for watching and have a good day.